At work, I use the term powwow for a quick discussion, and one of the girls at work was Native American, and she made a complaint.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she made a complaint. I literally was just like, "Oh, we're gonna go have a quick powwow about this," and she made a complaint, and I got a little quick like wrist slap. Can't say that.
I'm here with Lishy Nutter, and today we're talking your cultural identity. With friends, we'll love to give each other the business.
Yeah.
Can't say powwow.
Well, I should have been like, I'm an 8th Native American too. So am I allowed? Am I in the club?
So a buddy of mine, when he works at he worked at, show you how long ago it was, worked at MCI, and then they worked at Verizon for 20 something years. And he says that on all his corporate applications, you know, because you have to, if you go for a change of venue within the company, he always puts that he's like 164th Choctaw.
Why?
Why not?
Just because. Yeah. Everyone asked me if why I didn't register, and it's like, I don't know, it just feels fake. I didn't grow up with the tribe. I'm not a part of the people. So I, you know, like biologically I am 1/8 Blackfoot Native American, but I don't claim it because it just feels weird.
When I first came to the Americas, it was not cool to be the kind of being cool to be ethnic or knowing a second language wasn't cool when I first came to America in like 1980. Later, it became kind of cool, like not cool, but accepted that you spoke another language. Like I had to bury my other language.
That's wild.
It was not good to be.
People would be offended or like hostile
yes.
towards the fact that you could speak more than English.
Yes. Like they would say to me, and I quote, "Talk American." If I said something, to my mom.
Used to say "Talk American." That's amazing.
Yeah, we lived in Illinois for 2 years in Glenview, Illinois, and during that time in 1980, 81, before we went to the Los Angeles, and then not until I was in high school, like 84, 85, no, high school in 85, 89 is when I graduated. So late 80s, it started being cool, and I felt like, oh, I missed the boat on that a bit. Because like kids in my school would speak another language like in recess, and everyone was like, "Oh, you know another language? Amazing!" And I was like, "What? That never happened. That never happened to me." And these were younger kids, especially. It was seen as okay, like accepted that you would be fine being a multicultural person or whatever. But when I first came to the America, it was not like that.
Maybe they were insecure that you were like, whenever you were speaking your native language, you were just making fun of them. I feel like the Mexican cooks at work have gotten me to feel like whenever someone's speaking another language around me, that they're just making fun of me, because I know enough Spanish to know that when they're speaking Spanish in front of me, they are just making fun of me.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just always assume when people are like in front of me and like they just like have like a little private conversation in another language, they're probably just making fun of me. So I don't know, maybe everyone's just insecure about that. I just stopped caring though. Was that like a common thing? Would you and your fellow Iranians just kind of, have your little private conversation making fun of the stupid Americans in your home language?
No? Never did that. I never was like, I've seen people do that, and actually that happened to me because I was taking a cab ride once to visit my friend, and the cab like put multiple people in there. So it was a Iranian lady and her daughter, and they were talking in Farsi about me and the driver like the whole time. I didn't tell them I knew Farsi, which was fantastic. But so that time they were doing it, but I generally don't do that. I don't do that in English. Like I don't go to another country and be like, this fucking guy. Like I don't care. Why would I do that?
This fucking guy.
This fucking guy over here. Like I have no interest.
This fucking dump over here.
I have no interest in doing that anyway. Like I don't do that in just normal parlance, as they say in the business. So, but some people, I guess, do that. And then I did talk to them in Farsi, and they freaked out because they didn't know that I knew.
Did you say, "Oh, by the way, I wasn't listening earlier"?
Yeah, that was a lady who asked me if I was Persian. That was the lady.
Yeah, Persian.
Yeah, and I was like, "What?" I was like a rug or a cat. I was like, "That's not how you." But she meant Aryan because that because it's been a very racist situation. Because in Iran, there's a lot of different ethnicities, like 40 different crazy dialects or something. But Farsi is the national language. But there's a lot of other, and those people who are others are poo-pooed on.
I've always been curious about like these languages that have all these multiple different dialects. Is the difference as close as like a southern dialect versus it's like is it
no,
too hard to really even understand? It's like a full-on different language.
It's a full-on different language.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like one of them in the northern part of Iran, which unfortunately is where I was born, is we call it Torki, which is how Farsi people say Turkish, but it's not Turkish. My father speaks it, and he can understand some things Turkish people say, but so it's a kind of a different offshoot of Turkish. But we call them Torks, and they live in Tabriz, which is with a little cat in the forehead of the cat-shaped country that Iran is, in the forehead of the kitty. And I was born there because my father, who loved being born there, tried to force my mom, which was pregnant with my brother, who was older than me, to give birth to his firstborn son in the Tabriz where he was born. But they got snored out. And then so when she was pregnant with me, he made her go like 6 months in advance to Tabriz, so that to ensure that at least one of his children's would be born with Tabriz on their passport, which happens to be me. And when I was born, I was the only boy in the entire ward. And all these ladies, my mom said, with the little spritzies, came into her room and were like trying to touch her. Pregnant women were trying to touch her to ensure that they would have a boy. And they were like all crying at her bed because they were jealous that she gave birth to a boy. I was the only boy.
So you were born in 400 BC?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That place is like they carry buckets. They used to carry buckets for water to like in some of the parts of the villages where our ancestral Tabriz home was. We stayed there for a bit when I was a kid even.
It's the sacred pilgrimage to Tabriz.
Yeah. Well, now it's not like that, obviously, but back then when I was a kid, it was rough over there.
Woo.
It was woo. My father used to say he used to go to the village well and bring buckets of water for the house so they would have water.
With his milk brothers.
He also had milk brothers. That's women who are selected to lactate for babies when the mothers don't have milk anymore. So he was a milk brother with some dude. That's because they suckled jointly on this lady. So that's his milk brother.
They suck on the boob and gather the milk.
They don't gather. God damn it! Nobody gathers the milk. Well, I guess
harvesting.
Yes.
Well, then what are they? So he's sucking on the boob to do what then?
Look, it's this dude whose mom also gave birth. So they're both babies. They're not related. However, when his mom
baby.
So they're both babies, and he wasn't 17 and sucking on. So when they're both babies,
dude, I don't know, man.
I'm trying to explain it. When they're both babies, and if his mom didn't have milk, she would take him to this lady who had ample bosoms, and she would double spritz it with the two babies.
Well, that sounds a lot more normal to me. So you were talking about how he would go to the town well to gather water, and then right after that, you're also like,
well, because
I know, but they kind of combined, and so I was like, oh, so he's gonna go get some water, then he's gonna go get some milk, you know, he's gonna go get some milk and bring the milk and the water back.
I understand, but Lishy said milk brother, so I thought I'd tell you what the milk brother situation is. That's what happened. But yeah, it's not milk and honey. That's what you apparently get in heaven. Which is not great. If you tried mixing milk with honey, it's disgusting. I would not recommend it.
Really? I make a latte with milk and honey.
Well, that's because there's coffee in it, but that's still weird. But I'm saying just pour a glass of milk and then pour honey in it and mix it up and try to drink it. Horrible. You should.
Horrible, honey.
Horrible. You should try that because that's what you get in heaven as a Muslims. And if you like it, I would moose slam it up because apparently that's your just reward.
But I could just drink it here and not have to worry about all of that. The rest of
Yes, you could. I'm saying you get a preview in this existence before you're poured. It is a land of milk and honey, apparently, by all accounts.
It was like a land of pork and beef.
That's a much better land.
Yeah.
Oh my,
I'd
delicious.
say pork ribs, beef ribs, and spare ribs.
I play a lot of pickleball, like I've talked about before, and I've been this is not a pickleball story. I just used the word pickleball. However,
so I have tallied our votes, and feel free to run in the comments section who you think is never right in this episode. Can we go on? Is that possible?
Not without talking about pickleball.
You're never right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want more content from the Never Right podcast.